Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is Kildiken. Happy 2022. Welcome back to the first live stream of the brand new year. I had planned on uploading some other videos first, but it didn't work out that way. And originally, I was supposed to go live last night. I was actually in the middle of the live stream, and then all of a sudden, I lost my voice a little bit. I was coughing a lot. So I tried to power through it, but just honestly couldn't do it. So today's video, we're going to be talking about CES Arcade One Up with 2022, some of the new products they have going on currently, and some of the things currently going on with particularly Killer Instinct. As it was announced yesterday, there is a new Pro Line version of the arcade cab coming out, but primarily, just want to get everyone's thoughts, give you guys my opinions, um, my concerns going forward with One Up. I know it's been a while since I bought a cab, but we actually have some prices here. And there's been some chatter going back and forth about pre-orders and cancellations. So definitely would just want to get into this. No intro screens or anything today. Definitely get your concerns about some of this and let you guys know what I think about it. So yesterday they released or they announced several new arcade one-ups that are coming out. This is the Atari Legacy Arcade Machine Centipede Edition, Bandai Namco Legacy Arcade Machine with Pac-Mania Edition. Looks like we have some new artwork coming in, and then of course the new Mortal Kombat that's coming out as well has some new artwork on the side. Midway Legacy Arcade Machine Mortal Kombat 30th Anniversary Edition, and then now we have the brand new Killer Instinct Arcade Machine Pro Series. This one hasn't been released yet, obviously. As you guys know, the pre-order for the first Killer Instinct cabinet went up on November 10th. I posted that on my community tab. I believe that was retailing for about six, maybe $700, I believe. And if you guys know Twisted Gaming TV, Chris, he's been on the channel. He's done a live review about it. But apparently, right now, this one's causing a lot of controversy, and I could definitely understand and see why. This one is the Killer Instinct Arcade Machine Pro Series Edition. And just to kind of cover some of the features that it already comes with, it still has Wi-Fi like some of the other cabinets. This one's going to be a little different as it has a 19-inch screen, upgraded lit marquee, Suzo Hap joysticks and buttons. Then it has upgraded speakers, speaker grills. Something a lot of this is what the community has been asking for. I think 19 inches, at least 21 for me personally would be a little bit better. Clear deck protector, molded coin door with light up coin door slots. This has been something in the past people have asked for. Fox metal T molding, licensed anti fatigue mat included. That's pretty cool. I like that nice little touch. Comes with the same games as the original Killer Instinct, which still hasn't released yet. And then, of course, you also get this licensed 10 sign, comes with a stool. So, again, this is what you're going to get with the new unit. But I'm sure you guys have already seen this. But primarily, I'm here today to talk about the other concerns that people have had in the community. Here is a article that was written from CNET in regards to Arcade One Up coming out, the Pro Line series. Bigger Pro Series arcade machine, so this is a little taller, so you don't need um, uh, the booster or the riser. I'm sorry, with the arcade machine because it already has its own set height. Will release in the summer of 2022 with Rare's Killer Instinct fighting game. The machine will have a larger 19-inch screen, up from 17 inches. Monitors seen previously, along with Suzo hat buttons and joysticks, Fox metal T molding, and improved speakers, which is something a lot of the people in the community have been asking for. But this is where a lot of people kind of missed it. Um, Pricing for the Killer Instinct cabinet isn't yet available, but Arcade One Up CEO Scott Bacharach said in an interview with CNET that the line will be hitting the $1,000 to $1,200 price range. So and then $1,000 converts to 740, or if you're in Australia, 1390. So this unit isn't selling for exactly $1,000. It's still the price is still being worked out. So it is selling for $1,000 to $1,200. So you could possibly see this $1,200 price range, which is kind of been slightly overlooked. But what kind of really caught my attention too is that he comments down here saying it's about the closest thing you can get to a $3,000 to $5,000 arcade cabinet for sub minus $1,500. He says. While the Pro line will cater to the higher end arcade enthusiast, Arcade One Up is also unveiling a Legacy Edition line in the non pro cabinet size, which will feature 14 games per machine. The Legacy will debut in spring of 2022. With the first three, including a Bandai cabinet with the Pac Mania. Where was I? What's going on, Chris? Thanks for joining, man. But the Pro line and the Legacy arcade cabinets will feature online play, much like Simpsons and our Arcade One Up. So you guys are already familiar with this, but um, yeah, but these are the two things I definitely want to kind of touch on. I mean, obviously the price is going to be somewhere between $1,000 to $1,200. Chris is now confirming that it is going to be $1,000 confirmed. Now we got another comment here saying someone else is confirming 789. Okay, so somewhere within the same price range. But what gets me too is this statement here. It's the closest thing you can get to a $3,000, $5,000 arcade cabinet. Now, originally, when Arcade One Up hit the market back in 2018, they marketed this as much cheaper than an arcade cabinet. With its authenticity, and you have to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars for an arcade cabinet, which they are still marketing this as that a authentic arcade cabinet still costs $3,000 to $5,000, which is entirely not true. I've seen arcade cabinets as low as $50, and so just to give you guys a little heads up, here is Facebook Marketplace, just kind of perusing through some of the things that are going on here. You could get this empty $200 arcade cabinet, an authentic arcade cabinet, even though this one's needs some work. It's $200. I've seen some even in better conditions for 50. I've seen some for 150. Here's one down here, Maximum Force for $500. Here's Raiden 2. This is an authentic cabinet for $350. That is far away from the $3,000 and $5,000 that they want like you to mention. And then of course you see other arcade one up units kind of meeting in the same price range for 380. So then of course you have some other arcade one up units here. I know this has been kind of difficult since Arcade One Up has come out, and a lot of people are reselling One Ups to kind of peruse through some of the arcade cabinets here because you do have a lot of authentic ones. This one here is $1,000, but you guys could do your own search. You could check Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. You guys know that you can find a cheaper authentic arcade cabinet for way under $3,000. So that's far off of the price range that they continue to quote. But also, what concerns me is I've seen some comments. People have had some thoughts about the whole um, pre-order series, and my personal take on this is I know John D and Twisted Chris, they had a back and forth about 2 years ago. I know we're in 2022 now, and Chris was telling John D like, "Hey, you're not going to be able to get Killer Instinct, licensing and stuff like that." And so now apparently that's why he had the first review is because John D was able to prove him wrong. And then of course Chris did, who's been on the channel, Twisted Gaming TV. He did a review. He talked about the controls. Uh, he talked about the controls. He talked about the speakers. He obviously said that the marquee, I don't think he was too pleased with it. And so he went ahead and upgraded his marquee already. And then I know some of the suggestions that he did make was, just getting a basic, I think it was a Bluetooth speaker system or something for like $20 to upgrade the stereo sound. And then, of course, he also has some other suggestions about the buttons. So then, of course, as of yesterday, Arcade One Up for CES releases this one. Now, some people have canceled their original order, which was available November 10th, I believe I said it was. And the concern is now is like, why make people go through the entire process of canceling a pre-order just to release something that's much, much better? Based upon Chris's review, this seems to fix a lot of the things that he mentioned in this video. And so some people may not have problems with the pre-order, and some people do. My personal take on all of this is one thing. Why put all your vendors and the customers through a situation within a 60-day time frame to cancel something and then reorder something that's of the same, something that's of a better caliber? So for instance, if we go back to 2005, Xbox, when they first released, they showed you both the core version and the Xbox 360 regular premium edition. One of them had a hard drive, the other one didn't. They didn't release the core version or show you the core version and then show you the premium version 30 to 60 days later. They gave you both options on release date. And then of course that also falls in line with other several products that have been released, throughout time. They show you both series. And also, um, just even speaking about this situation, I know Apple had a problem with this, kind of doing the same thing. I think when they originally saw, I think it was one of the iPhone models or iPads, they showed everybody a particular price on the iPhone, and then 30 to 60 days later, they lowered the price. And a lot of their customers were pissed at that time. I think this was back in 2015, 2014. I don't remember the year it was, but maybe somebody of you are familiar with this. But Apple had to change that price and give people credits in regards to that, because a lot of people who are early adopters of a product, especially when they're changing a price within 30 to 60 days, uh, they felt the heat of that. And so in this particular case, and in my concern, my beliefs on this is, I think this was a very bad marketing move. Considering this right here, some people have ordered the Arcade One Up Killer Instinct, the lower end version, direct through Arcade One Up. This, if you read their pre-order cancellation policy, it states here, you may cancel your pre-order purchase for a full refund within 30 days of your purchase date, provided the item has not already shipped. Now, according to this policy, I mean, I don't know if they're going to work their magic or make some exceptions for people, but to announce this and then have to probably deal with this is totally foolish, because if you ordered November 10th, you have up until, well, one, if you order on that first day, you're already out of your 30-day cancellation or return policy. So, based upon the announcement, you have up until, if you ordered December 6th, I think you're okay. I think today would be your last day, based upon their guidelines, not mine, but based upon their own internal guidelines. You have up until, right now. Today is December 5th, December 6th. If you order before December 6th, you're kind of screwed. So today will be the last day if you ordered uh, that cabinet on the initial launch day, to get your money back if you want to possibly upgrade. Now, some people will say, well, there's not a big issue with pre-ordering. It gives you better options to either cancel or whatnot. So here's a concern about that. It puts retailers, district managers, regional managers, and the whole logistics of how they get product out. Uh, it throws a monkey wrench into their whole plan, because typically, when you're working retail and they order products based on pre-orders, they have to fulfill them for a particular area and based upon how a store is performing. So let's say if you have company A, let's say in California, we had 200 pre-orders, and then let's say all of those cancellations came in. Let's just say if it was 100%. Now you have all of these pre-orders going to a store that possibly, you don't know how they'll be able to sell it. Um, Eventually, when it comes in, they may have to redistribute that merchandise to another area that can perform in that capacity. However, it just really screws up their numbers and how the logistics part of it by canceling pre-orders, because they order the product, they get so many units in store to fulfill the pre-orders. But now, if all those pre-orders are canceled, you have merchandise going to a store that may not possibly be fulfilled. I mean, maybe eventually customers will come in and buy it, but you know, I mean, that just causes a hassle where some stores may have to end up canceling it or redirecting it to another better performing store where more of the customers in a particular demographics are interested in that particular product. But I don't know why they would put themselves in this position. And then also, too, just looking at it for individuals who typically mod their products, and you saw Chris's review. Chris recommended changing the buttons, getting a better marquee. Think about all the people who may have already bought better buttons and joysticks for their cab, and they're waiting on getting it. They've already pre-ordered, and they ordered a marquee. Maybe they called up guys like Angel, say, "Hey, Angel, I want a better marquee. I ordered Killer Instinct. Can you go ahead and make a new marquee for me? I don't want it to be washed out or anything." That's wasted money. All of this has had a big chain reaction because now they've put out another unit within the time frame where people could cancel with stuff that already has it available. So, again, this is a rendered photo. I know the logo here that was under Killer Instinct. I know they fixed this. I know this was upside down. That was another marketing blunder on their part. But again, some people may see it just as, hey, well, you could cancel it, to cancel the pre-order. Arcade One Up is doing you a favor by giving you the heads up, but it's causing a huge chain reaction within merchandising and other people in the community getting involved when they decide to go ahead and maybe upgrade some things in anticipation for this. And they didn't need to spend this extra money. I mean, again, I know this is kind of pricey, $1,000, for this particular unit. We don't actually know of any of the product. And oh, look, here we go right here. A lot have ordered a marquee already from Laramie. This fits into exactly what I was talking about. This is not just a situation of, hey, I pre-ordered the unit. Well, you could go ahead and cancel it. No, you have other vendors and people preparing marquees, whatever it may have been for their other unit. And then now Laramie, in this particular case, Angel and other people may get cancellations, or maybe they've already started ordering supplies in the aftermarket sector for arcade cabinets, and now they're going to have cancellations. They're going to have cancellations because people have said, "Well, why should I pay all that extra money when I could possibly get all this built in?" And why stick with the basic model? And I think we've lost sight of that. Is that all of this is a huge chain reaction? Let's see here. There's Twisted Chris. I sent my KI deck to Bobby Vu to have IL and hat buttons installed. Yeah. See now, and I know Chris, um, and I think he was kind of put in the spot. This is my own personal opinion. He does a review. He's talking about not just the emulation, but the buttons and making recommendations. And I would personally think that he wouldn't have spent any money in upgrading the marquee or putting any money into the basic model, knowing the Pro line was coming out. Now I know that ARCADE1UP sent him the base model, but I know Chris, he wouldn't have spent any money in the basic model if he knew the Pro line was coming out and he could have just bought the Pro line. There would just really be no point into fixing the bare bottom version and then upgrading this one. It just wouldn't make any sense. So those are the type of issues that it causes. It's a huge marketing blunder because why put your customer service reps, why have people wondering if they're going to get their money back? Now again, Arcade One Up may change their mind and say, yeah, sure, we can allow the cancel, but according to their own written policy that they have right here, you're already screwed if you order directly through Arcade One Up. Now, the other cool thing is if you order through Best Buy, Walmart, things like that, it's still considered a Christmas gift. So you have usually up until January 31st, which usually runs through the Christmas season, because Christmas season for a lot of retailers start, I think in this particular case, maybe late October because of the whole COVID stuff. And then, of course, usually it extends to January 31st of the following year. But as you see here, you may cancel your pre-order purchase for a full refund within 30 days of your purchase date. So, anybody who ordered directly from RK1, you have been screwed based upon what is mentioned here through their own policy. Looks like we got a little spammer or something here. What's going on, Akuma Rev? Nice to see you on here. Thanks for joining. DL Wang said lots of posts of people jumping in on that when he did a great job with making it. Yeah, he did Chris pointed out, and this is what I mean by Twisted Gaming TV was put in the spot. He was sent the unit because he has the actual Arcade One Up unit. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, he has the actual arcade unit. So he gave his recommendations, and he spent a lot of time talking about the sound and the joysticks and stuff. And I personally feel if he knew that this model was coming up, he probably wouldn't have spent so much time talking about buttons and speakers. He would just say, "Oh, well, just go get the Pro line, edition." So if kind of washed away or kind of brought his video down a little bit, or I mean, when there's another Pro line, so it kind of, in the sense, I don't know. You guys get that whole idea about what I'm saying. It just really didn't have the impact. It's kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, we got something else better coming out. So ignore, the issues that you had with the bare bottoms version. Now, I believe that they should have announced both of these units at the same time, give customers a choice, or release the other model, the lower end version originally. Now, keep in mind, these units haven't even hit the market yet, at least the first one. So, and I do agree with some of the other comments I've seen online was that uh they should have released this Pro Line version within another model. I mean, this looks great. I mean, I love the render. I love the chair. It has a back brace to it. I can't remember if any of the other chairs has a brace on it. I love the mat here. That looks, phenomenal. I love the upgrades to here. The price for me, 7,000. I mean, I know Chris is saying that's going to cost somewhere about $100. I'm sorry, $789. And then, of course, uh, is listed at 1,000. I just personally think with everything that they're doing here that I don't see $1,000 value here. I mean, I love the fact that they are adding a 19-inch 5.4. That's still too small for me. I mean, my perfect size is anywhere 21 and up, to get your money's worth out of it. But I just personally feel that back when Arcade One Up, typically the machines were costing about $300, and if it was $600, if this was $600 at the time, then this would be real worth it because then it would show all the other upgrades. But I think they're kind of going to run over themselves and their pricing margins. I know usually when I sell things, I say, hey, if I'm selling a lower end model here and something better, I'll add another 50 or $100 to it. But this is almost the same price now. If it's true what Chris is saying, I know he says it's going to cost about 780. You have a lot of other cabs now that don't have the same kind of quality and they're paying the same kind of price. Did A1 Up put the slanted deck on the original version? And Chris says, no, they didn't. Let's see here. We have another comment. I pre-ordered the day it went up. Ordered hat sticks and buttons, better speakers and everything. At this point, I'm like, I don't want my money back. Just put it towards the Pro Series. So, are you trying to get your money back? Uh, I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name, but Mr. Latos, are you trying to get your money back and you decided to go with the Pro Series, or what's your plan on that? So he's one of the individuals I believe that would have to try to contact RK1 Up to see if they'll refund him his money if he's trying to go to Pro Line. So you're trying to get your money back, and the regular version is 700. Yeah, $700. K Pro Series is 1,000. All right, so we'll have to follow up with this to see. But again, this isn't. You know what? This isn't even something we should be discussing. The company themselves should not put themselves in a position to where they're having to make exceptions due to a conflict or issue that they are creating that would then conflict with their own return policy. I mean, this gentleman here shouldn't have to sit on pins and needles to wonder or not if he's getting his money back since he ordered directly because he's going through uh because he wants to get a refund or upgrade. And they're aware of this. When they released this Pro Series, they are aware that there were going to be a number of pre-order cancellations. So this is no secret to them. I'm planning on staying with the original option for what I do. And let me see here. You guys can read it. For what I do and my setup, it works much better. I'll upgrade the joysticks and buttons for $30. How much does Laramie and Angel charge for the marquee? What's the added cost on that? Yeah, I want to know what is the additional cost because I don't know what. I think Angel said like $30 or 20 something dollars. I think I'm not sure what his prices are off the top of my head. There's $1,200 Pro lines, and I'll talk about that ones later. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, this causes a big chain reaction in logistics for stores and managers and district managers when they have to allocate product for particular areas and stores when people are having to cancel their pre-orders. It's definitely not good. But then internally they went ahead and did this as well. But all in all, it looks like obviously if you've gone through a store, you don't have to worry about the whole return thing. But that's only if you ordered direct. And then, of course, and another separate issue, there's some people worrying about Tron. But I mean, again, the Killer Instinct cabinet, I think it looks really great. The screens are still too small for me on my liking. I have a lot of company over. I like spacing. I think that they took a lot of suggestions from what Chris said in his recent reviews a few weeks ago. But again, I don't think they have a ready-made model for this yet. I believe this is just all rendered with measurements and whatnot. But it is good to see that they finally have decided to upgrade their monitors. Now, keep in mind when they get these monitors, a lot of these monitors from that Arcade One Up are using, you can get these for what tens and thousands of units on a pallet. And a lot of these monitors, even going back to the first generation monitors, they're quite old. They're not anything new. I believe a lot of these monitors that they were using dated back to like 2006, 2007, in regards to like the Gen 1 monitors. So, and when you order from China, you pay like maybe 10,000 or $20,000 for a pallet, and it has so many of them on there. So they don't cost a lot. So I know some people may say, well, the added cost is going into their monitors. No, I mean, this stuff is a lot of this stuff is really dirt cheap when you're ordering from China on a pallet. You just have to order in bulk. In fact, years ago, I was going to order some LED curtains and they gave me the price and they're like, no, you have to order like $20,000 worth of stuff in order to get it. And it breaks down to like maybe those particular units broke down to like maybe $60 a unit, which I could have easily resold for like 300 bucks, whatever the case might be. But that's just how they do it. You're just ordering a big price for a big pallet of stuff for the tech. Jesus Christ, $85 for a Soul Calibur marquee and top shelf, man. KI marquee, I got $70, but it's a light box and everything, not just an overlay. Okay, so it's another $70 on top of whatever you've already paid out. From Laramie. The KI Pro looks like a true midway cab compared to the regular KI version. See, so those are the thoughts there. Again, there's going to be cancellations, and I can understand why, but I definitely side with the community that have a problem, with stuff like this because again, there's going to be a percentage of people who want the basic model, okay? But uh, the question is why put the company reps, customer service, logistics, and everyone else through the whole hassle of trying to cancel anything or have to worry about getting their money back when they could have just released or announced both products on the same date. Say the Pro Line version is not going to come out to the summer instead of releasing the basic version on November 10th and now putting customers in a situation where they can't get their money back if they order directly. Oh, it's kind of pissy if you ask me. Yeah, it looks really good. It does look really good. Yeah, I give them that. It looks really good. But this isn't the type of way I would do business. And other companies, this isn't new. Other companies have done the same exact thing. So I wonder now, DL Wayne, do you know how many people have already prepaid from Laramie or maybe Angel and saying I want my money back? I'm sure he won't be too happy about that. Yeah, it takes him a couple 3 days to print the whole light box. That has to do with Justin on the print. Here, let's see what is he saying here. It has to do with Justin on the print, so the price is worth it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean everything is already right there, and then of course Laramie is going to have to order product, paint and supplies to make stuff, and that would suck if people have to call and cancel simply because of their marketing. Retro 530 sold out of them after I made the video. Hopefully he doesn't get all those returned. That wouldn't be a good thing. Yeah, he probably woke up today and say, "Oh crap." Hmm. Especially if they got to order supplies in advance. That ain't cool. Yeah, so like I said, I think people have lost sight of logistics and all the other factors cause and effect when companies do things like this, especially the aftermarket. No, I do not, but seeing at least 8 posts of people ordering, but you pay first, so I don't think he will offer refunds. Yep. So I can imagine, yeah, there's a lot of third party dealers probably cussing. I mean, what if Chris called Bobby and said, "Screw it, like cancel my order"? Just little stuff like that. Like stuff like that just doesn't have to happen. And then of course you have a lot of these third party dealers. They're small mom and pop shop businesses. They don't want to offer refunds. So now you have people stuck between getting their money back, if they order directly, people getting their pre-orders back if you order through Best Buy and other places like that, versus trying to get their money back from third party dealers. Yeah. Yeah, and then don't forget postage. You're paying for postage too. So, you could just expect to see there's going to be more problems in the arcade one up community because of this. When something simple could, I mean, again, I know that there's a risk factor involved when you're buying from third party dealers and stuff like that, but you would think all these things would typically be taken in consideration when they're marketing, or when they know people are upgrading their buttons and when they're upgrading their marquees. He has 10 printers running. He can't just stop and refund. Not his fault. A1 did it. I totally agree. I totally, Dio Wong, I totally agree with you. Everything that you're saying. I just think that when other people are saying, like, what's the big problem with pre orders or canceling, like Arcade One Up is giving you a chance to issue you a refund, that they've slowly forgot all of this other stuff that factors in the community and what people are doing when they're forced in a position like this. Akuma Rev here. If you guys don't know Akuma Rev, he does uh, Akuma Rev. What's the name of your channel? Is it Put Your Quarters on the Glass? That's the one you run. They should have scrapped the cheaper MK and did MK Pro line as the premier Pro line cab and intro for MK Online. That would have been much better. Uh, Chris, do you know what type of speakers that they're using for the Pro line? I know they said they've upgraded the marquee, they've upgraded the speakers, but we don't know. We don't know the. I mean, only thing you guys know now is that they upgraded the speakers, but we don't know the quality of the speakers, which is a big deal. Yeah, put your quarters on the glass. Yeah, and let me say something about that. I will be taking on Kong. I know he's called me out a few times. Kong's or us over there. He won't be putting any quarters on the glass. He'll be putting his checkbook up on the glass. So I will be handling that business. Yeah, that's right. Put your checkbook up on the glass. I'm coming for you, Kong's R Us. Yeah, tell him to get his debit card ready. Debit card, his PayPal, EBT. I'm ready. Let's see, not many details yet. Who the hell is this? Jesus. All right. Um, but again, guys, those are my thoughts and concerns. I've like I said, I've seen people comment saying there's nothing wrong with this pre-order. They gave you a chance to do. No, 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 no. There's too many things in the chain line of logistics going on here. Third party dealers and everybody else that they've put people through. They just can't seem to just get something right. I mean, and then not even talking about the whole Tron thing with the spinner and the joysticks breaking. You know, especially before it was like you buy a $300 arcade one up. You were expected to. It was a toy. You're getting some cheap buttons and everything else. But when you start selling something for $500 and $600 and almost now we're up to $1,200 price tag, really, that better come picture perfect. Especially when you can get an authentic cabinet for $50. You can get an authentic arcade cabinet for 50 bucks. Maybe not Killer Instinct, maybe not Mortal Kombat, but you can get a authentic arcade cabinet for 50 to $100. We've seen plenty of them. Facebook Marketplace, Bobby's had a few of them. I've seen them. I've had some people ask me if I wanted to buy some, and I'm just like, no, not right now. So it's the non-toy version. Keo, have you talked to your boss at Micro Center about this? Oh man, yeah. A lot of people think I work for Micro Center since I worked around there. Inside joke. No, I just love the place, and I love representing a company, especially the company represents. I don't want to say represents, but it really embodies what my channel is about. I know a lot of you have just maybe associated me with RetroPie, maybe some other things, but no, I do. Um, PC mods, other tech things, security, home security cameras, everything. So I love all aspects of technology. So I just kind of fell in love with that place and, willing to do whatever I can to help, market or talk about whatever it is they offer. I mean, I absolutely just love the place. It's a non-toy version. Yep, don't forget fireworks too. Yeah. And that's another problem with YouTube is that they want you to try to be creative, but they want you to try to stay within the algorithm. And I'm just like, screw it. You know, I'm gonna be myself. So we have RC cars over here, fireworks, gaming, PC tech reviews. I have a lot of other topics I definitely want to discuss. So anything that I'm putting up on my channel is what I'm passionate about. Hey honey, my wife is here. She wants to give me a kiss. Love you too, honey. Yeah, I was having a little episode last night, and she took care of me because I was like coughing and stuff, and had a sore throat. So she fixed me up really good with like some tea and cough drops and everything else. So, kisses says hi. So, yeah, guys, those are just my thoughts and concerns on this. It's a problem, on how they're doing business and release it like this. It could have been done better. Um, as far as the parts and everything. Oh gosh, I knew somebody was going to say something.
I sure
Yeah, that's right.
do.
That's right, honey. But yeah, so so you guys can expect to see other third party dealers feeling the wrath of this in the next few days because this is probably some of the stuff that hasn't been discussed yet with other third party dealers as far as accessories they provide, marquees. They're going to get some cancellations and then they're going to get some bad feedback. Hopefully, for those of you who have bought through Laramie, Angel, or anybody else, um, it's not their fault. I understand that some of you who maybe want to cancel your orders and stuff, please don't try to leave bad reviews because y- y- you know uh, you decide to upgrade, and yeah, it's a mucky situation. So let's all just try to be understanding of what's going on. But you know, but these are the situations that it does create. When they release stuff like this. But again, there's been many companies that always released your like even the Xbox. They had the what is it? The Xbox Series X, and then of course they had the other version where they released both of them the same day. They didn't do a lower end version and then a premium version like a few weeks later within 30 to 60 days of one another. They gave you both options. Even they even do that with video cards, for the most part. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. All right, Mr. Keo, gotta go say out of your mouth for me. Oh, all right, man. You have a good day. Yeah, don't blame me either. Yeah, I want to blame Chris. It was his. He told me to upgrade my speakers and my buttons. Let's see here. I just got a notification for something. Yeah, so I want to blame Chris because we gotta have somebody to blame. So who do we blame? Do we blame Chris? Do we blame John D? Scott Backrack over here. Somebody is responsible. Somebody, you know what they say, crap goes downhill. Do we blame the ARCADE1UP community for wanting better parts? And again, this has nothing to do with the community wanting better monitors or better parts for their Arcade One Up. It's just all about marketing and the time for the release. If this came out 3 or 4 months, no, I would say maybe 6 to 7 months after the initial release, I think there would have been some, people wouldn't be up in an uproar about it. But not when their first original version still hasn't released yet. There's just definitely a way to do things. 19 inches for me. I mean, I had 19 inches when I was a kid. That was the last time I had 19 inches. I haven't had anything smaller than that since then. But yeah, 21 inches and up, HD, quality. I think that's for me, when I see things like, Xbox, when they have re-released a lot of the retro games and they upscaled it to 720p and 1080p, and then of course provided internet capabilities with online scores, then I think that's a justifiable price. But these graphics aren't even upscale. That's what I would be typically looking at. The only cab I could see them ever releasing, period, for $1,000 would have been Marvel versus Capcom 2 because that has so much playability on. Oh, they didn't fix the graphics on this one. It has so much playability. I still play it on my Xbox 360, which is behind me. It is still in competitions heavily. Playing Marvel versus Capcom 2. Um, Games like there was a game I bought years ago. It was called Gears of War 2. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is on Xbox 360. I played that game for about a good 3 to 4 years religiously. So even though I spent $60 on the game, it was a really good investment. But if you're spending $700 on a arcade cabinet on a game that doesn't have a lot of replayability, like maybe The Simpsons, not The Simpsons bowling, but I'm just talking about The Simpsons games like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where it's kind of like a one and done kind of thing, and you paid $400 or $500 for it. To me, that's a lot of money, not based on I think, in my opinion, I think that games like maybe Centipede, Pac-Man, justify their price because it has a lot of playability. Maybe Frogger, Marvel versus Capcom 2, but there are certain games out there that, even though they're cool and you want to see a nice looking cabinet, you just can't sit there and just play it 24/7, or it has a lot of replayability. Yeah, Marvel versus Capcom 2 is definitely up there. I mean, that and maybe Tekken. Those games have a lot of replayability, but I don't think they'll ever get Tekken. Excuse me. Yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, of course. That was one of my favorite games. I went at my local arcade. I went 72 wins straight. None of those guys could beat me when it first came out. I truly believe that Chris is the reason they pushed the Pro Series because of his review. So in my eyes, Chris deserves a round of applause. Yeah, definitely. He did a really good job with his review. Um, you know, they didn't tell him everything. So maybe this is the reason why they came out with the Pro Series. We don't know, but I think it should have been pushed back. It shouldn't be done within the same 30, 60 days. So, give people a chance to get their orders first after they, spent their money. But, now you have people reinvesting money in something that's going to cost $700 to $800, and then now dumping in a bunch of extra money in parts to which they could have just bought this unit for. So, yeah, but yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, if they ever happen to get that, I know there was talks about them trying to redo it with licensing and stuff. I mean, that one's going to be, you know what? That one, I'm not even sure if that one may even go through because if you guys are familiar, there's a new lawsuit coming out with the original creators. The copyright thing. I know even Disney right now has a legal battle with the descendants from like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. That's going to court. And now Disney doesn't know what to do because they don't want to lose their licensing to Iron Man and Doctor Strange and Spider Man and a bunch of other characters. So now Disney is in its own legal battle because they're trying to keep the rights to a lot of those characters, and a lot of those copyrights in, I think, either last year or this year were licensors or whatever goes back to the family members, something of that nature. You guys can read it all on IGN and stuff. So that'll be another hurdle that they would have to overcome in order for Marvel versus Capcom 2 to even get any type of release. I totally forgot about that. I hope someone in Arcade One Up can detail the challenges with Marvel vs. Capcom 2 character rights. Yeah, well, again, remember, like I was just saying, those other issues with the copyright are going to come up pretty soon. And I think I'm not even sure if they're going to be too successful because the lawyer representing the family, he's already won several other cases in regards to this. I can't. What was it? I was reading a court case in regards to what was it? Not Rom. I think Shumagorath. If you guys didn't know, like Shumagorath, I think they have to call like even in Doctor Strange 2 coming out, they can't call him Shumagorath. They have to call him Gargantua or something like that because they don't even own the names to that right now. So that's another issue. Yeah, that's it, Chris. That's the one I was thinking about. The Friday the 13th. Yeah, just like the reason why there isn't a new Friday the 13th because the lawsuit. So, uh, I disagree with that lawsuit, but I did read it. So the guy who wrote the script owns the rights to it. So something of that nature. So it's actually been settled, Chris. That Twisted gave me the Friday the 13th lawsuit. So the was it the director or the producer? I don't believe he's contesting it. So it may just be a done deal now. I think that was settled just a few weeks ago, actually. So, and that's another thing. So, even if you see Marvel versus Capcom 2, I don't think they can reuse the name Shumagorath. They may have to call it Gargantua or something because that's yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of details with that that lawsuit because he didn't create the hockey mask. He didn't create Jason, quote unquote. I think he kept the rights to like the mom and the story of Friday the 13th. So they would have to brand new whatever, like everything that made Jason what he is. He doesn't have the rights to that, and and I think that gets kind of tricky because all of that was done under a work for hire environment based upon what I've been reading. But what I've noticed too is a lot of people who've done work for hire are trying to come back and try to claim rights. Um, Work for hire is when you pay somebody to do something, but yet they're trying to say they're the owner. So for example, I mean, I wouldn't do it. I make audio graphic work for a lot of you guys. I'm not trying to come back and say I'm the owner, but imagine like Twisted Gaming TV. He has this nice logo and stuff that he has. He pays somebody to work for hire, and the guy's like, "Well, I own that." But it was work for hire. When you work for hire, you pay somebody $50 or $100, whatever the case might be, $1,000, and then you're done. That's it. You don't have any rights. I mean, you're a freelance, person. It's not like a contracted employee. So, yeah, read up on that Friday the 13th lawsuit because that was settled. But from my understanding, he doesn't have rights to the actual Jason character because he what was it Friday the 13th? It was the original script and the mom, and then of course Jason, the epitome of what we know Jason as, didn't come up until what part three, four, something like that. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So imagine you pay $500, same case as anything else, and then somebody's trying to come back and say, "Oh, well, I own the rights to it." Like, what the heck? No, no. No, I just think that a lot of people are just trying to get in on, they didn't realize how much money was going to be made. I don't know if you guys remember that old lawsuit with Yahoo. Remember the guy who used to do the Yahoo Yodel? He was paid a flat fee. He was paid for work for hire, and then it started making a lot of money, using all the advertisements, and then he was like, "Screw that." I wouldn't put it past you. Yeah. So, but again, the family members of Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, and other people who were the descendants of it, they're trying to fight for the licensing rights. So, uh, I yeah, Marvel versus Capcom 2, all those. The only way to really probably do that is they're going to have to rename some characters and go through all the legal hassle. But I would highly expect that you would not see Shuma Gorath mentioned in Marvel versus Capcom 2. You may see a name like Gargantua or something like what they're doing with Doctor Strange 2. And I saw that mentioned in an article just the other day that there was a toy coming out for Doctor Strange 2 and it doesn't show Shuma. So But yeah, guys, I feel sorry for a lot of people in the community that goes through something like this. You shouldn't be put in this position to where you should cancel a pre-order. I mean, a pre-order is pre-order, and I personally think that Arcade One Up has done a distaste or service to the whole pre-order system by having you pre-order something and then turn around and release something where you have to cancel. And then the other part about this too is this Pro Line series isn't being available in stores, so it's not like you could call Best Buy or something or Target, whoever you order for, and say, "Hey, I want to exchange it for something better." This is kind of undercutting their own partners market because right now you can order directly through what Walmart, Target, Best Buy, several other places who they do business with. So yeah, I mean, I mean, why would you do that to your partners? I mean, I get the whole thing, but you know. They're gonna have all those canceled pre-orders and all that extra inventory. Depending upon where they are in the ordering process, going to stores and stuff, and people would have said, "Screw that, let me get this one that's better." Let's see, detail the challenging rights. But yeah, I was supposed to go live last night, but yeah, I was under attack a little bit, but I feel a little bit better now. And I honestly had some other videos I wanted to upload first and do go live about. Just talk a little bit about the channel and some of the things that I'm going to be discussing moving forward. But like I've been saying, make sure you guys keep your eyes up on Micro Center. They got a lot of good things coming out within the next year. They got some really good stuff coming out, especially in their retro gaming market. I mean, I'm really impressed with the quality and stuff that they are putting out. But this KI cap looks nice. Chris, let me ask you since you're in the chat, looking at this Pro Line series, just looking at the photo here, can you probably guess how much more space they added between the joysticks, between player one and player two? Yeah, if you can probably guess how much space they've added between player one and player two. Let's see. Arcade Mad is here. Thanks for joining. I remember Killer Instinct when it first appeared on the arcades. Man, I'm getting old. Yeah, I remember that too. So inch and a half on a ugh, okay. So well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad they added an extra inch and a half. So that means not even the deck protectors are backwards compatible between the Pro line and the basic version. So now you're gonna have different SKUs for deck protectors. You know what? They should have released this. They shouldn't have announced this until the summer. What they should have done was wait till their first wave was out. Address all the issues and concerns. See if there was any issues with online. See if there's any issues with buttons or quality assurance, and then fix those issues based upon the community. The trouble tickets and stuff, and then release this version based upon that. Because now you're going to have two different models out there. They're going to have two different SKUs. They're going to have two different forms of deck protectors and everything else, and they're going to have to address all these concerns uh, within one setting. So you're going to have people calling in for deck, possibly calling in for issues for deck protector on the lower version versus the Pro Line version, instead of just having to deal with one particular SKU. It's probably a 22-inch deck compared to an 18-inch. Yeah, yeah, probably so. Still not a lot of space, especially for a guy my size and stuff. And it was funny. I don't know if any of you guys saw the video I did. What was that? Last year, I was at Bobby's house. I was at Bobby's house with Kong, and we were playing on the Neo Geo cabinet. And Bobby was like, "Man, like he was like, dude, like you swallow up the cabinet or whatever." I'm just like, "What the heck?" He was just talking about how like my size, like in front of the cabinet, because a lot of us probably are just maybe single guys, single people, And you don't look at a lot of these cabinets when you start putting, football player guys in front of these cabinets. It takes on a different persona. It gives you a different perspective of how these cabs look when you get guys who are almost 300 pounds and like myself, standing in front of it. Let's see. Al says here, that's the $1 million question. Gotta wonder if some competitor threatened to release something similar. Great observation, but I don't think so.
I'm about to be
Let's see here. That's the $1 million question. Gotta wonder if some competitor threatened to release something similar. Yeah, I don't really think that was the case. I think maybe they took a lot of what Chris said to heart based upon his review and say, hey, well, let's just release something a little bit better. Original KI deck is 27 to 28 inches. Okay. And you also said they removed the lights that were on here too. Was that something else, Twisted Gaming TV, that you asked for them to remove, like saying that you didn't need that underglow light or whatever? And you notice I'm noticing something here too. Is this two forms of speaker, or is this like some type of light, and then you got additional speakers in the back? Because I see two different sets here. No Christmas light. That's pretty awesome. So, all right. So two speakers on top. CNET says Scott told him this cab could go as high as $1,200. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. All right. So okay. So there's only one set of speakers, not two. That just may be the reflection of the speakers. Yeah, it could be. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I see it now. You're right. Yeah, that is a reflection. Okay. So just a reflection there. Yeah, just a bad angle. So it's just a reflection there. Yeah, all this set looks nice. I love the mat. Love the mat. I love the artwork. I wonder what kind of TV they're going to be using though, or monitor. Just the quality of it. So if you guys didn't know this, when you're dealing with emulation and they're trying to recreate a lot of these games, if you guys have watched some of my RetroPie tutorials, the object is to keep the games as low res as possible. Here. Oh, let me type in my Thanks for that. Yeah. So when you're emulating games, the object is to keep the games as low res as possible and let the monitor upscale. So uh, a lot of these companies, you won't expect for them to start maybe putting out better quality TVs because they start doing that. That could affect game performance. Which is why if you guys watch a lot of retro pie tutorials with Nintendo 64 and stuff, those consoles were made to render at such a very low resolution to maximize performance. Whereas now, like for a lot of image makers and people putting stuff out, you'll see people trying to upscale to 1080p and 4K, and then that's why you get that crappy performance with games like Dreamcast, not or Dreamcast, N64. Some of the other higher systems that are hard to emulate because they're trying to blow out of proportion that low scale resolution, get it up to 4K and 1080p. Whereas if you just download or grade the res, you get better performance. So that's why companies like this will stick with something a lot smaller to get better emulation possibilities out of it. $1,000 KI Pro line, 1200 for another Pro line. Like I said, I'll talk about that tomorrow. LL, there's a reason they said 1,000 to $1,200. Yeah, again, so we have that out here. Chris is on top of it. There are arcade one up units that will be costing $1,200. So this one's going to be between 1,000 to 1,200 bucks, not including taxes and not including shipping. So if shipping is 100 bucks or 150, whatever it might be, just tack that on here to the price. This might be okay for my size, as I'm an average size man. You sound like a huge man, so you're probably better off with the original cab. Yep. Well, I'm about what 5'11", 250. I just take up some space when standing in front of something. So I mean, the 27-inch Atari cab, or well, but I'll even say this too. When I was at Arcade Expo a few years ago, and I was playing the Punisher next to a few other guys, even that was tight. So that was a tight arcade cabinet. When I was younger, it's probably a little bit doable, but I'm a bigger guy now. Lifting weights and all. Oh, thank you very much. Ultra Pro line for Keo. Yeah, we need. Hey, Chris, we have to blame you because next week we'll see an Ultra Pro line for Keo with another price tag, with another model coming out. We're gonna see another. Hey, you know what? It's Twisted Gaming's fault. There it is, right there. We're gonna see another line coming out. What do they do with the? I forgot what's that clothing line called with bigger men, big and tall. So now we're gonna have a big and tall pro line series for ARCADE1UPs. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. $1,500 for Keo. Man, shoot, man, you go get the authentic thing for 50 bucks. So it is Chris's fault. The big and tall ARCADE1UPs. And what's that other company? Not the Levi's, but they make those T-shirts. Those shirts for guys who are really big, where so when you bend over, you don't see the guy's butt crack. What was, or is that called like Duluth shirts or something? You guys know the commercial I'm talking about. They make them specifically for those construction workers and guys who love to bend over a lot, so that way you don't see their butt crack. What's the name of that brand? They'll probably make a brand like that for ARCADE1UP for oh, it's Duluth. Okay, so they'll make them Duluth. So they're gonna make some Duluth ARCADE1UP cabinets for guys who are a little widely proportioned like myself. Guys who lift weights. Guys who like myself who sometimes we don't hit the treadmill. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's Chris's fault right there. Twisted Gaming. He just it's yeah. Oh, don't crush your wife, Kill. Nah, nah. She likes all this loving. No, she likes it. Mm-mm. She don't want something she can break. Yeah, she don't want something she can break. She like a man like me. She knows what I'm talking about. But we're gonna keep it PG over here. Yeah, let's not even go there. I'm gonna start making a channel, maybe make some videos on how us hobbyists and arcade lovers and modders, we spend too much time playing video games on how we ought to satisfy our wives. I think I'll do a series on that. hmm But I don't want to get in trouble with none of you guys. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But maybe a Valentine's Day special. We need to stop. If you're spending more time in modding and you're not spending any time with your wife or your girlfriend, we got to keep our priorities straight. That's how you keep a happy home. I ain't trying to get in trouble. Mm-mm. No, no, no. Yeah, yeah. Don't get it twisted. Just because you guys see me spend some money on some things over here, computer parts or whatever. Oh no, I gotta measure the same way with the wife. Handbags, vacations, things like that. So you guys are asking me how come I don't spend like $1,000 on a KI cabinet? I would rather take my wife on a cruise. So let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it mixed up, guys. We're still men. We got wives and families and stuff. But yeah, I see this cabinet, it looks nice. Don't get it. I love the whole hobby thing, but a Disney cruise for me, hell, even fireworks. But no, a Disney cruise, nice vacation somewhere. Nah, that's how you keep the happy home right there. Hmm. That's right. Hell, my wife sends me to the basement. Yeah, yeah. See, I need to make a tutorial on all this. Hmm. Keep you guys out of trouble. Oh, that's funny stuff. Yep. Hmm. Got to know how to balance it out. Can't be walking in with a $2,000 cabinet and your wife is looking at those brochures saying, "Man, this Disney cruise, or we could have went to Disney World, or you saw a nice dress. You told her you couldn't buy a nice dress, but you're rolling this stuff in there. Doesn't know how to keep a happy house." Just saying, no thrust power. Oh Lord, hey, I could write a book on that. Talk about some thrust power. Oh yeah, I could write a book on that. But I ain't gonna tell you guys all my personal life. You know how it is. All right, fellas. I think I'm about out. I'm gonna get off here. Just wanted to express to you all of my personal concerns and let you guys know that I am with you. For those of you who are severely pissed off about the Killer Instinct release, I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with the product. I believe there should be a fair game, but they should have released it the same day. Hopefully, those of you who bought this other unit could get your money back if you bought directly, and hopefully, this doesn't get blown out of proportion with all of you aftermarket guys who are already fulfilling orders, and now you're probably facing cancellations. So again, make sure you share this video. I believe I covered a lot of things on here people need to hear, because this ain't cool. It ain't cool. There ain't no justification behind it on how it was done. It could have been better, and there's a lot of logistics that are behind it. And it's funny. I haven't talked to any of you people. A lot of you guys who are commenting here in the chat. This is something that you obviously and already identify with, based upon what's going on. And people are saying, it ain't a problem. It's just a pre-order. Go cancel the other one. You shouldn't have pre-ordered, or whatever the case might be. They don't fully have the insight as to what's really going on and how it impacts everybody else. So, all right, guys. Later. I'll catch you guys later at a different date. Where the hell is this? Let me see here. If I got to roll out with my intro. You guys know how I do. Where's my intro? All right, guys. Peace out. Catch you later. Bye bye.